Listen, saints, there's another thing that I've noticed for a while. When I say a while, I've noticed it since I was a little kid. There is something I've noticed about people in general that is quite disturbing. But because it's so common, it's normalized. And I want to warn you, just because something is normalized, that doesn't mean it's all right. There used to be a time, and in some countries still the case, that it's normalized for husbands to beat their wives, to make their wives behave. Now, anyone who objectively look at the situation will say this is wrong, it doesn't add up. But it was normalized. It means that people agreed to tolerate that behavior and people agreed to justify the behavior. When the public or when a group of people agree to tolerate or justify behavior, then it's normalized. Something being normalized doesn't mean that everyone agrees with it. It does even mean that everyone wants it, but when something is normalized, people just tolerate it, they don't do anything about it, then they normalize it because it becomes common behavior, or people endorse it. So people justify why the behavior is there. And sometimes behavior is first tolerated, then it's endorsed. In any case, just because something is normalized doesn't mean it's proper. Now, look, I expect you to end up similar like your parents. If you were born in a neighborhood where they spoke Dutch as a first language, guess what? Your first language will be Dutch. And if you were born in Limburg, for example, you have a Limburgish accent of Dutch. Not a surprise. If you come from a family where people are very sporty, they're very active in physical exercise, then likely you will have similar traits. Look, you are shaped by your environment. All of us are. Whether for good or for bad, we are shaped by our environment. And as human beings, we are vulnerable creatures. We want to get along. We don't want unnecessary conflict. We just want to get along. And to get along, we want to be similar to other people. It's in us to be similar to the people around us. That's why when you look at someone's friends or someone's associates, they always have similar things in common, whether it's external interest or physical features or mental attitudes. There's nothing wrong with wanting to belong to a group. So the longing to conform to a group itself is not, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to belong to a group. There's nothing wrong to want to have close bonds with other people. And when you are in your teenage years and adolescent years, getting along and bonding with a group are one of your prime priorities. Why? Because you want to get, you're in your sexual development, at least in your teenage years, you want to get a sex partner soon, you may want to have a family, or you may want to just simply have a job and have a good time with other people. So you are more focused on the rewards of belonging. I don't blame you for that. I don't blame anyone. It's just how human beings develop. As long as you understand there's a difference between natural and normal. Normal is something that's normalized by either tolerance or by endorsement. Natural is just the way things are by design, by the Heavenly Father. So that you need food and water, that's natural. If someone is trained to eat a lot of spicy food, that's normal. Because there are places in the world where there isn't much spicy food available. So there they eat more sweet food. So that you need food and water is natural. But the type of food and water you get used to, that's normal. Based on the norms of the environment. That we're all sexual beings, that's natural. But the way we operate sexually in a group, that's normal. Based on what the group endorses or what the group tolerates. Now, you know the difference between normal and natural. Again, just because something is normalized doesn't mean it's proper. So listen, when you're dealing with someone and they are 15 years old and they can't see yet how corrupt the world is, you know what? Maybe they came from a very protected background, and because of that, they're quite naive. Give them some time. But if someone is 20 or 21 and they still cannot see that there's something seriously wrong with the world, then you may have to consider that there's something defective about this individual. I'm not talking about the fact that we're born in sin like everyone else. That's something we were all afflicted by through the fall of Adam. I'm not talking about that. There is some type of denial or mental slowness in someone when they are 20 or 21 and they still cannot see there's something seriously wrong with the world. When someone is 25 or older and they still cannot see, I'm talking about those who legitimately still cannot see. At least that's what they claim. There's something that's something interact with the world. Either you're dealing with someone who who has serious mental issues, or you're dealing with a sociopath. Because nobody who just observes the world can justify what's going on. The moment you just sit down and you observe things around you, you're going to notice many red flags. When you're dealing with someone who always has an explanation for the wrongs of the world, you're either dealing with someone with serious mental issues, and that's a red flag, or you're dealing with someone who's just a sociopath. They just want to exploit others, and that's why they are in tune with the predatory design of the world. Because this world is predatory. This world is designed to generate victims. This world is run on narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply, so people feeling good at the expense of someone else, that is what fuels the world. And everything around you is designed to generate narcissistic supply for the masses. It doesn't take long for anyone to see this. It's clear as day. Now, some people have difficulty accepting that that's how the world really is. Now, having difficulty to accept things as they are is one thing, but violently refusing to even acknowledge that something may be wrong, that's very dangerous. Now, why am I mentioning this in this video? Because there are people out there. We call them normal people. Now, there are a lot of people who consider themselves normal because they follow the norms of the community. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about those who are typical normal people. Beware of them, because those type of people will never see nor recognize any fault in the world, or will always, even when they admit there's a fault, they always have some excuse or some explanation to explain away the evil that goes on or the defectiveness that's around. Such people are invested. They are invested in evil. Let me explain it to you. If, for example, I'll just give an example. If there are a lot of homeless people in a community, that means that economically and financially something doesn't work well in the community. Now, nobody wants to become homeless. So when they encounter homeless people tend to be frightened and maybe I'm thinking, you know what? I'm happy. At least I have a house. That's a narcissistic supply. Okay, but if there are so many homeless people, how come there's so many homeless people? And everyone pays high taxes. How come we all pay so many taxes, but there are no provisions for when someone becomes homeless? That doesn't add up. Now, anyone who has a sane attitude about the situation would realize, if there are so many homeless people, and those homeless people, 9 out of 10, they became homeless by external factors, so it wasn't even their fault, that means a similar thing can happen to any of us around here. So what goes on in this community? There are so many homeless people. That's what a natural-minded individual would do. But people who are so invested in being accepted by society, they will see that something is wrong. They will clearly see that there is no justification for the situation to exist, yet they will make up a justification. For example, if a child has blue spots, that's a sign that child's being beaten. They will say, well, some of those children, you need to be hard on them to teach them respect. What? Okay, so if there's a grown woman who doesn't behave proper, it's okay then for her grown husband to beat her just to show, to teach her how to validate other people's feelings and expectations? No, it wouldn't. Is it okay for your employer at work to beat you, harass you, and to scream at you just to get you to do what he wants? No, we wouldn't accept that. But when it comes to a child, people come up with excuses. Yes, they do. Because the moment they admit, that child's being abused, you know what? There are out of hand adults around here. We need to do something about this. But then they need to realize, there are more such people around. How come there's so many adults who are abusing their children? Oh, that means that a lot of people are sexually defective around here. And why are we sexually defective? Because we have those weird sexual expectations. Oh, now it becomes too personal for them. Because they themselves may have defective sexual expectations that their ancestors transferred onto them. So when it becomes too deep and too real, so a lot of people just space out. When it becomes too real, too personal, too intimate, a lot of people just fade away. They don't want to deal with it. Beware of such people. I'm telling you, beware of them. When you notice someone always spaces out when a situation becomes too real or when it becomes too factual, I'm telling you, it's best to consider whether or not to continue being involved with such an individual. Because such an individual, if one day you are a target, they will likely justify you being a target also. The same way they justify child abuse or they justify government abuse of the public, the same way they justify social slavery. So this whole grip of society, that if you don't give others what they want, they have a right to turn on you. The same way they justify all those weird things just to maintain a lifestyle of ease and relief, the same way they will turn on you to retain that lifestyle of ease and relief. There are people who just want relief. The only thing on their mind is to be left alone. They want all the best and all the ease of life, but don't want to face any challenges in life. They want everyone else to consider them, but they only have eyes for themselves. Now, that's a narcissistic attitude of theirs. Not all of them are full narcissists, but they come very close. And such people will always make up excuses for evil. So they are contributing to the normalization of evil. Even if they oppose evil, the fact that they don't participate in the solution shows you what you're dealing with. Listen, there's a difference between someone who's simply not aware or simply don't realize yet how awful the situation is and someone who doesn't want to notice anything else. Listen, a lot of people out there, they will gladly sell you out just to maintain their ease and relief. They just want to go to work, come home, have their sex partner greeting them. If they have children, they'll say hi to children. If they have no children, they have pets. Then they eat dinner, watch a movie, little bit of sex with their sex partner, go to bed, and then they repeat, go to work again. They do this all year long, and from time to time they go on a holiday, that means twice a year, and that's it. They say hi to everyone else. When there are issues going on TV, they talk about it to appear interesting, and that's it. That's how a lot of people want to be. They want a lifestyle of ease and relief without being bothered by reality, that you live in a fallen world and that you're responsible for how you deal with the fallenness of the world. They don't want any responsibility. They don't want any obligations. They don't want any duties. They just want ease and relief. And such people, some of them, when they realize that they have to do something, they become very patriotic in charity organizations or in church, just to give the illusion as if they're very good people that want to invest in the good of their communities. They are not. That intense zeal they have is to cover up their resentment that they have to do something. Beware. Not everyone is who they claim to be. See through people. See what you're dealing with. I'm telling you, those normal people that we love to uphold and praise, beware of them. They are the ones that keep the evil going. They are the ones that keep the violence alive. They are the ones that hinder and sabotage solutions. Because solutions will require them to change and to become better human beings and to become active, participant human beings focused on the Heavenly Father and others. That means no more controlling, no more clinging onto privacy, private lives, free will, and all of those stuff, but being realistic participants in the community. A lot of people don't want this. They want to escape, and when they can't escape, they want victims to escalate upon. They just want a lifestyle of ease and relief. If you notice this about someone, begin to limit contact with that individual. I'm telling you, it's not worth it to continue to hang out or invest or be involved with such an individual. Sooner or later, they'll become a snare onto you. And they are the first ones to report you to the authorities when tyranny appears. If the government in your country becomes tyrannical, begins to oppress the people, they are the first ones that will rat you out. Sometimes such people even openly expose themselves unaware. Listen, look beyond the smiles, look beyond the politeness, look beyond what people say and see what people really are. Stop making excuses for people who refuse to participate in solutions. I'm not talking about solutions that are presented by the media. I'm talking about actual solutions, by having a solution-oriented mindset. Stop making excuses for them. By doing that, you're participating in the wrongdoing. And by participating in the wrongdoing, you will also participate in their plagues that will follow, which includes demonic oppression. Don't do that. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.